Welcome to this edition of The District. I am Joan Garner, your Fulton County Commissioner for District 6. Austin Dickson, the President and Executive Director of Literacy Action, Inc., and Ryan Hall, the Director of Programs, will join us today to tell us about Literacy Action Incorporated. Later in the show, we will be joined by Arletta Howard, a Literacy Action student. Ms. Howard will share her experience as a student at Literacy Action, Inc. We have a great show planned today, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to The District. We have a great show planned for you today. I am Joan Garner, your Fulton County Commissioner for District 6. Joining us today is Austin Dickson, the President and Executive Director of Literacy Action, Inc., and Ryan Hall, the Director of Programs. They are here to talk to us about Literacy Action, Inc. Austin and Ryan, welcome to The District.
Thanks, Joan. Glad to be here.
Great. So, Austin, let's start this conversation with you. So would you please tell our viewers about Literacy Action and what does your organization do?
Sure. Literacy Action is Georgia's oldest and largest nonprofit provider of adult basic education. And what that means is we teach adults literacy and numeracy skills, adults 16 and up, throughout the Atlanta region.
So that leads me to my next question. How long has Literacy Action been in existence?
We've been doing this work for 45 years next month, June 12th. We were founded in 1968 right here in downtown Atlanta.
Oh, that's great. So could you tell us a little bit about the history of Literacy Action?
Sure. Literacy Action was founded in the basement of Central Presbyterian Church, which is across from the Georgia State Capitol. It was a few months after Dr. Martin Luther King's funeral, in fact, and a lot of people were so inspired by Dr. King's vision that they wanted to do something to give back to the community in a certain way. Several volunteers from Central Presbyterian Church got together and decided that they wanted to teach homeless men how to read. So starting with this very small volunteer program, Literacy Action exploded very quickly with the help of institutional funders, the Junior League of Atlanta, and other folks who came in and built out an organization that has had a huge impact on literacy in Georgia. In the 80s and 90s, Literacy Action pioneered distance learning for adult education through the help of Georgia Tech and the University System of Georgia. And now we provide adult education at 2 sites here in downtown Atlanta.
Quite a history. Ryan, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
So Ryan, as the Director of Programs, would you please tell us about the types of classes that are offered at Literacy Action?
Sure. We offer reading, writing, math, and computer classes. We have different levels. We have 6 different levels of reading and writing, 4 different levels of math, 3 different levels of computer skills. So whatever your skills are, we pretty much have a class for you.
So what is the process for enrolling in the classes at Literacy Action?
Well, you'll call in and register. Well, you'll come in and take a test, which is what we use to place you into one of our classes. Then you'll come to a 2-day orientation where we'll tell you all about the classes that we have, all the different activities we have for students. We go through your specific strengths and weaknesses in reading and writing and math, and then we put you in classes.
Is there a cost associated with it?
All free.
That's terrific. So could you tell us more about the class schedule? How often do the classes meet?
Sure. Our classes, most of them meet 2 days a week for 2 hours each day. We also have a few that meet 3 days a week for 2 hours a day. We have morning classes that start at about 9 o'clock. And then we have late afternoon classes around 2 o'clock, and we have some evening classes that are 5 to 7.
And so, Ryan, what are some of the goals that the students have who enter into the program?
Well, most of the people who come to our program do want to obtain their GED. But we have a lot of students, too, who already have a high school diploma or a GED, and they really just need some refresher courses so that they can get into college. We also have some other students who come in because they want to brush up on their skills because now they have kids or grandkids who they want to be able to help with their homework. So that's their big goal, is to just kind of get refreshed on those types of skills. And then we have other students who come in to be able to read better so they can read the Bible or read Sunday school lessons so they can lead Sunday school lessons at their churches and things like that.
And so what does instruction actually look like in literacy, at Literacy Action?
As I mentioned before, we have various levels of classes. So each of our classes are leveled off, and students are placed in a class that is specific to their reading, writing, or math level. All the classes have an instructor who comes in with lesson plans specific for that group of students, and then we also have volunteers in the classes. So there's a lot of small group work that goes on in the class. Is very engaging. You're not going to come in and work in a workbook by yourself.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot going on. As we wrap up this session, could you tell us, Ryan, about, or please tell our viewers about how they can contact Literacy Action and learn more about the programs and services that you offer?
Sure. They can either call 404-818-7323, or you can email us at info@literacyaction.org. Or you can go to our website, which is www.literacyaction.org.
Great, thank you. So, Austin, thank you. Ryan, thank you for taking the time to join us today. And when we come back, we'll be talking more. So when we return, Arletta Howard, a student at Literacy Action, will join us. Ms. Howard will share her experience at Literacy Action, Inc. You are watching The District. Stay tuned. There is more to come. Welcome back to The District, everyone. I am Joan Garner, your Fulton County Commissioner for District 6. If you just tuned into the show, we had a great conversation with Austin Dickson, the President and Executive Director of Literacy Action, Inc., and Ryan Hall, the Director of Programs, about Literacy Action, Inc. They shared with us how the program is designed to help students reach their fullest potential through basic and essential reading, writing, critical thinking, math, computer, job readiness, and academic skills necessary to master the GED tests. Joining Austin Dickson is Arletta Howard, a Literacy Action student. Austin, welcome back.
Thank you.
And Arletta, welcome to the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So Arletta, would you tell us, how did you come to Literacy Action?
Actually, Miss Joan, it was really by trial and error through other agencies. And being that I wasn't happy with the other agencies, that's when I ran across Literacy Action.
So would you share with our viewing audience what you discovered about Literacy Action?
Yes, ma'am. What I discovered about Literacy Action is how in order that they were, attentive as far as, each student's needs, making sure that their skill levels reach, the capacity to pass the GED testing.
Well, that leads me to my next question. So how has Literacy Action actually affected your life?
It made me into the woman I am today. I have obtained my GED thanks to Literacy Action, and my other goals as far as trying to go to college will be next.
Well, congratulations, and I saw you speak at the commencement exercise, and you did a fabulous job.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So, Austin, back to you. Would you please tell us about the organization's outcomes?
Sure. Literacy Action is very proud to report that on average we move students 2 grade levels in a 12-month period. If you divide our budget by how many students we have, it's about $850 a student. So for an $850 investment, we can advance a student 2 grade levels in 12 months, which is unheard of. It's what a lot of school systems attempt to do, spending a lot more money than Literacy Action. So we're very proud of our accomplishments and our outcomes.
So how do you make sure that the students are actually achieving?
Sure. We test folks when they come in. We use the GAIN test, the General Assessment of Instructional Needs, and we test folks on the 13th week of every 15-week semester. So our organization is structured into 3 15-week semesters per year, and so someone might take a test 3 times during a year. So we can measure our progress and track it for each student by class as a grade level, etc.
So, are there big changes unfolding or big plans for next year or the years to come?
There's a lot, actually. Literacy Action has, for 45 years, done a great job of teaching adults to read, write, basic computer skills, health and financial literacy skills. One of the things that we're investing in for the next fiscal year is a transitions program to work on getting more of our students into the jobs that they want and working with employers to build a stronger pipeline between our students and employment opportunities that are out there for them. We're also hoping to grow to a couple of new campuses. We have a satellite campus right now at the Ray and Joan Kroc Center on Metropolitan Parkway, but we're hoping to also open up a couple other campuses so we can serve more students in 2014.
Well, that leads me to my next question, which is, where does your support come from? You talked about the cost and you talked about your expansion. Where does your support come from?
About 85% of our organizational budget comes from philanthropy. That is, it comes from the good charitable hearts of people in the community, from foundations and businesses, civic groups, and individuals. About 15% of our budget comes from the government, and Fulton County Board of Commissioners is a sponsor of Literacy Action, as well as the Technical College System of Georgia, of which we are a part.
Well, I know that the District 6 residents would like to know more about how community members can get involved with Literacy Action. Could you share that with us?
Absolutely. We utilize volunteers in all of our programming. So this past semester we had 39 classes in operation for the 15-week semester this spring. And in each class we try to have 2 volunteers with every paid instructor. So if folks in the community wanted to participate, they could come and get trained and oriented. We could place them in a class and they could work alongside another volunteer and a teacher working with students. They could work once a week, twice a week, once a month, whatever their preference. We also have a need for volunteers to help us put on events throughout the year.
Speaking of events, do you have any coming up?
We do. We have an event called Writers to Readers, which is planned for February. It's an event we've done before where we bring well-known authors in to come and do a panel discussion. It's a fundraising luncheon. We'll be doing that in February of 2014. And we always have our annual student recognition ceremony at the Georgia Pacific Auditorium, which we just had. And as you mentioned, Arletta was our featured speaker that day. And we celebrate the achievements of our students. We've been doing that ceremony at Georgia Pacific for about 12 years, and Georgia Pacific has been a supporter of Literacy Action since 1982.
Great. So as we bring this segment of the show to a close, Austin, would you please share with us once again how to contact you at Literacy Action and to learn more information about the programs that exist?
Our offices are at 100 Edgewood, which is the United Way building in downtown Atlanta. Our website is www.literacyaction.org, and you can email us at info@literacyaction.org, and our phone number is 404-818-READ. That's READ. And you can call in and you can schedule an appointment if you're interested in classes. If you have a family member that's interested in classes, we'd be glad to hear from you as well. And if you're interested in volunteering, all that information applies as well.
Great. Thank you. Austin and Arletta, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Joan. Glad to be here.
When we return, I will share my closing thoughts. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the district. I am Joan Garner, your Fulton County Commissioner for District 6. Austin Dickson, the President and Executive Director of Literacy Action, Inc., and Ryan Hall, the Director of Programs, joined us today to tell us about Literacy Action Incorporated. We also heard from Arletta Howard, a Literacy Action student. She shared her experience at Literacy Action, Inc. Literacy Action provides high-quality, sustainable literacy programs that build better futures and break the intergenerational cycle of poverty by teaching low-literate adults literacy and life skills that will empower them to reach their full potential as self-sufficient individuals, parents, employees, and citizens. Literacy Action has continued to transform lives and achieve results for the community. Over the past 45 years, Literacy Action has shifted its programming, scope, and location. However, its impact has been compelling, steadfast, and substantial. Students enter with determination and aspiration, and they leave with a sense of pride and essential skills. In 2012, Georgia's high school graduation rate was 67%. Times and needs have changed, but the necessity for Fulton County and Georgia to have an educated community and skilled workforce has remained constant. I want to thank my guests for joining us today and providing us with helpful information and sharing their success stories. And thank you for joining us on The District. That's our show for today. Feel free to contact my office at any time by calling us at 404-612-8226. You can email us at district6@fultoncountyga.gov, tweet with us at ComJoanGarner, and of course, friend us on Facebook. Until we meet again, I am your District 6 Fulton County Commissioner, Joan Garner. Thanks for watching The District.